Hello, everyone. Here to show you right here. Talking about for like elections right here, and I seen the was looking through all these files right here, and then knowing about all the things that we probably have seen in the newspapers here lately. But I just mainly want to talk about right here of talking about learn the fact of matter about talk about the elections right here about what does it usually mean whenever you endorse a candidate, and then talking about for the elections for if it's president or if it's for governor or anything like that they're going to be talking about on the news. But a lot of times it sure seems that way that when we think about this right here, though, that you're likely want to know too that whenever it comes to endorsements and also marketing and also spreading the word to the different participants, the candidates. I'm like I talk about for the candidates and all that, for which politician that you want to be elected for president or for congressman or something like that, in Congress. But a lot of times, the one thing that kind of gets me though is that really that like every time I think about the elections, I'm always going to maybe wonder to where that the things that work, especially. So let's just say that if you come up with an idea to where you're going to go ahead and maybe you come up with like an idea for like you go ahead and build a poster size is something like this right here, and then let's just say that if you want to include maybe a few text such as "we the people can build it better" or something like that, and like you may have heard that before, something like for great expectations, for the Republican Party or for the Democratic Party or something like that. But it sure seems that way to where that when we think about a lot of the elections, though, most of the time, you want to know too is to where that our voice is recorded on a lot of these. Whenever it comes to the elections, it's like about almost every year when we think about it, it sure seems that way to where that really that a lot of times what you usually see are like well, if you can donate a little bit here or there, just to be able to pass a bill in the Senate and all that. But I just really think too that what is the key to the factor of matter about whenever something works? Whenever something works, and a lot of times it seems like the answer is usually whenever most of the I'm like when people can agree to where if there's at the score to a decision to the Senate or something like that, the Democrats and Republicans to all to agree to pass a certain a certain plan. And let's just say that if it's an order or something like that, executive order or anything like that. But I just really think too that whenever I think about design, though, that it's really about the attention to where does it really catch everybody's mind to where if they're going to be looking at like any source of article like this, and thereby thinking too that well, anything that catches your mind, especially, and let's just say if this was supposed to be like an example right here of a magazine cover, and you're probably thinking too that well, you got right there is you got the autograph right there, but then you got an endorsement right here and talk about for marketing, but a lot of times it sure seems that way that a lot of the stuff, half the time you want to know too that okay, you go ahead and pay $3 here and $3 there. Is that really just to prove to somebody that they're right or wrong, or if it's about the fact about for what progress that was made or anything like that, for decisions and all that. But I just really think too that talking about the stuff, between good ideas and bad ideas, the ideas that work, and you know how it is that most of the time with the way Congress works now, I'm like, that just be surprised about what works, because a lot of times it seems like that's really about what it's all about, about the elections and the car, trying to get a bill to pass and all that. And you're probably thinking too that whenever you go vote, that we're all kind of trying to agree on what are the best options whenever it comes to the middle class and taxes and all that other stuff. But But at the time, it sure seems that way. That yeah, for what works and for what doesn't work, and so we all know that that whenever it comes to text messaging, or it could also maybe be related to about listening to the radio station, and they're going to say that, yeah, you wait until the code is called before that there's any sort of such as, or what you call that, yeah, well, we need you to read off the code, or we need you to verify some information, or whichever you call it. So a lot of times, I talk about for fair share, right? But a lot of times it sure seems that way, that if you're going to be looking at this poster design right here, and we're likely want to know too that like almost every year around election time, that we think about that, to where that, for just $3, what really, what can make a difference, when we think about this right here. And so we're really, what is making a difference really? But I can maybe say too that, yeah, well, everybody else would probably say too, well, really, what can you really get from me that you can't really get from anybody else? And everybody else might even say too, well, if it's confidence, or if it's knowledge, or just knowing about how how government works, or anything about, well, what do you think the state should do about this? But still, but the way I think about it too, though, that whenever it comes to politics, and whenever it comes to all this other stuff that we read about on the news, though, and you're probably thinking too that, yeah, well, there's a lot of things that you can get for just $3, and we probably know too that sometimes that it's only about maybe a 4-page, catalog, a 4-page catalog that's right around $3. You can pick them up and go to the store and maybe buy something for about $3, and only 4 pages long, and there's just a few details about what will be going on, about what the Democrats think and what the Republicans think and all. But I just really think too that yeah, all the work that the American people are doing, and at the time you want to know too that really, like I said, a lot of times, yeah, almost all the elections are probably say too that if you were be graded for a lot of this stuff, and at the time you want to know too, well, most of the time it's all about if if it passes or not, for who wins and who loses, whichever. But I just really think too that for really what works, and a lot of times it's like, well, really, is it really the factor that matters? Is that people are trying to understand what is it that's going on, to where if it's really about whenever you pass a bill, whenever you come up to an agreement, though, what's going to be going on for the next 6 months to the next 2 or 3 years. And so it seems like to me, though, that whenever we think about this right here, that if it's going to be amendments or anything like that, but at the time you're like, yeah, well, whenever you think about that too, that you're probably thinking that, well, really, that whenever you go vote, though, a lot of times that you're just really speaking up for your opinion about stuff. A lot of times it sure seems that way, that why do you think that maybe something such as a driver's license would need to be visible to the team, just because that yeah, they want to nominate you just because that the work that you were working on had made the difference. And so it sure seems that way, that, yeah, well, everybody else are probably thinking too, yeah, well, for an idea that works, talk about for a solution that works, and then more likely then maybe that there will be a number of people in that Congress, like anybody on a team that's going to maybe be willing to agree to where that let's get the job done. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone.